the first actual story that we can dig into, have you seen the new Airbnb refresh that they launched?
Personal chef.
Yeah, pretty much, kind of.
Yep.
Not
Yep.
exactly, but sort of. For those that didn't catch it, Airbnb did like a big unveiling of new design stuff. Their icons that they have in the app basically went viral on Twitter because it is this like return to almost maximalism from a design perspective. I think even I'm looking at the recording software we're using right now. It's these like very single line, icons that people are using. And Airbnb came and dropped this thing where there's 3 new tabs basically at the top of the app when you come in. It's something like homes, and then there's experiences. And you actually have this ability to book more than just a place to stay on Airbnb going forward. And the thing that I wanted to tie in here is for those that remember earlier episodes of the podcast when I was doing pop-ups, a strategy that I had way back in the day was to approach Airbnb hosts and say, hey, you happen to have a really phenomenal kitchen. It has this really cool counter and it can seat 8 people. Is there a world where I could potentially host a pop-up out of your space on a night when it might not be that busy? Because I was a struggling pop-up host, basically, and I didn't want to pay the exorbitant fees that some event venues would ask for, or even restaurants that were closed. When totally understandably, they have to worry about this commercial rent that they have to pay. And if they're closed and they want to have somebody come in and, chances are a lot of the people probably don't take as good of care of it as me and my team did. And so you got to kind of budget for those sorts of things. And so it was a
Yep.
really cost effective way for me to go in and use Airbnbs in this kind of like sharing economy to actually come out ahead in my private chef business. But now it seems, I'm not saying that they discovered that and then they decided to rope that into their business model. It is more, you can actually layer things on top of, I want to stay in an Airbnb in San Diego and I want to hire a private chef, or I want to have catering because I have a wedding that I'm hosting, and me and the family actually decided to rent this big Airbnb and we need additional services on top of it. And so I'm
Hmm.
saying that in the context of, if you can have some sort of a first mover advantage anytime, and I know that experiences has been available on Airbnb for a little while, but with this app
Yeah.
refresh, I can imagine, the companies wanting to pour more resources into it. They're wanting to make sure that the experiences that they're highlighting are of high quality. And so if this could be a potential like new way to get leads for your business, whether you're a private chef or you bake stuff or, you do stuff in home for people and you want to maybe get more clients, I just kind of wanted to bring it up on the show because I know that a lot of listeners maybe have that restaurant experience and then now they want to work for themselves in some capacity. And in those early days, it is hard to get your foot in the door. But if you can use a company that already has users, i.e. an Airbnb, and the attention's already there, and they have kind of put their hand up and said, I'm willing to pay money to stay in XYZ place, and you happen to be in a city that has a high concentration of those places, you can really take advantage of it. And so it was just an interesting insight that I wanted to bring to this audience.
Yeah, it's funny. I anecdotally have told a couple of people about this in the industry, and the first reaction is always pulling out their phone to bookmark it or go back to it later. I agree with you on the first mover advantage. The Airbnb private chef thing specifically, if you're in an area with high demand for events or catering or anything like that, being a first mover on this could likely transform your business if you become highly rated versus everyone else on the platform. That's just how these things work. It's how they operate. So I guess like a PSA, like if you are interested in a private chef business or trying to grow that on the side, this is probably a great time. If you are allowed on Airbnb, I did check it out. There is a little bit of a process to get on it. I guess they review basically your posting and see if your quality for what they want. But I'm interested to see what like the rate of acceptance is on that. But yeah, I think it's going to be really big for people, especially those like you said that are going to be first mover.
And just to be clear, I think that this can be, I used it in the context of you can get more leads for your business. I think that
Mm-hmm.
anybody, we saw this happen with TikTok on the social media side when people for people who cook on the internet, they got the first mover advantage on TikTok. They pushed all their chips in. They were able to grow really fast. And then you get rug pulled, right? Like a platform either increases their fees, decreases your reach, gets banned by the government. There's all sorts of risks that come with, putting your eggs in one
Mm-hmm.
proverbial basket. And so that's the other cautionary side of this. And hopefully the lesson that you can take away if this is something you're going to try to leverage is that you can use it, abuse it basically, and make sure that you're building off of these sorts of things. You're keeping a client list that is your own, whether it's an email list or a Rolodex of phone numbers or something that you can use if and when something happens, people realize there's an arbitrage, and all of a sudden there's a ton of competition now. Or even like a silly risk, right? Like I think a lot of these companies, Yelp is maybe another example where one bad review can ultimately really like slam you. And even hearing that there's a pretty stringent application process makes it even harder to potentially do this. But it was something where I was like, man, if I was doing it all over again and I was in that season, I think I would probably lean into that a little bit harder, just to make it so that I could maybe have a little bit of additional income, or maybe even in the days when I knew that I was just wanting to get a different range of experiences. So I was doing tasting menu stuff, and then I also did a small handful of weddings. Or maybe that's the time when you want to like have your photographer friend come in and photo shoot the thing, and then you can use that for marketing across all of the other events that you do. And that might have only been possible for you to do something like, maybe you're only doing 10-person stuff, but you can get hired for a 40-person thing through Airbnb. I just think it's an interesting opportunity.
Yeah, I was playing around with it. It does seem that there could be some work on pricing, because it's kind of like certain boxes they put your pricing model in, which I could see being difficult to translate out if you're a private shop with different offerings. But yeah, I'm interested to see the effects on it, and if anyone's accepted and is using it, would love to have you on the show and talk about it, because I think that'd be a great learning experience. So